family, my name's Nonstop Parkour, and before we do this tutorial, I'd like to say something real quick. Feel this weather! It's so freaking nice! Anyway, I got a tutorial for you on the gainer, or forward moving backflip. Let's get to it. Now before you try to learn this move, you should have a very proper backflip. That means no whipping your head back or like bring your arms to only right here, following through. You need to follow through. And if you don't know how to do a backflip, then my tutorial to the backflip will be in the description below. So basically you should have a backflip with very minimal common mistakes. Now as I said before, I'm not going to be doing as much of a step-by-step tutorial on the technique of the gainer. I'm going to be doing a step-by-step tutorial on how to perfect it. This is because the technique of a gainer is almost exactly like the technique of a proper backflip. Remember, proper backflip means not whipping your head back and following through with the arms. There's only one main change that you need to do to your technique of gainer slash backflip. And that's what we're going to get into today. Assuming you do the backflip with the right technique, then the only change you need to make to change your backflip to a gainer is how you throw your hips. For a regular backflip, you just try to jump them straight up or slightly back. For a gainer, you want to try to throw them forward like that. And that's the main thing you need to know to learn the gainer, assuming you have a confident and solid backflip. Now, how drastically you need to throw your hips out depends on how high you are off of the ground. If you're pretty low to the ground, then that means that you need to focus less on driving your hips forward and more about getting the height, so jumping up, since you won't have as much height. And of course, vice versa, the higher you are off of the ground, the more you can focus on traveling forward instead of getting that height, since you'll be higher off the ground. Now the second part of the tutorial, the fear of the gainer and how to overcome it. Now many people are super scared of the gainer, and I can't blame them, because when you think of a backflip, any type of backflip, whether it's a gainer, whether it's backflip, whether it's any type of variation, you think of going backwards, hence backflip. But when you think of trying to go forward while going backward doing a backflip, then that can get kind of scary, because what if you can't travel as much and then you end up hitting something on the thing you're taking off of? And that's what we're going to talk about now. So once again, the best way to overcome a fear of anything that you're not used to is to progress up to it. So I'm going to show you all the progressions that I used and I think are most helpful for you to learn the backflip to a gainer. Now after those floor progressions, you want to try to work up to as high as you want to be. So like 1 foot and then slowly higher and higher and higher. But since I don't have like all those different heights, I'm just going to be using 1. But just keep in mind, you want to try to progress up to that height. So, if you do those progressions, just keep on drilling each one of them until you feel that you have it down to a science. I promise you that you'll be like 80% less terrified to go for a gainer than you were before you did those progressions. And finally, the last of the tutorial, common things that people do wrong and how to correct it. So as I've emphasized over this whole video, you need to have the proper backflip. If you're doing something wrong with your gainer, then there's a high chance it might come from your backflip. So the two main things, as I've said before, is not using your arms fully and whipping your head back. Because whipping your head back will make you travel backward, and not using your arms enough means that you won't be able to get as quick of a tuck, so as fast of a rotation. So that means that your backflip shouldn't look anything like this or this. Okay, that first one whipped my head back way too much. That second one, I didn't use my arms at all. Go straight up and tuck and all that good jazz. To correct whipping your head back, try looking straight as long as possible. Now I'll say right now, it's gonna feel very, very weird because you probably won't have the mindset right then to spot your landing. Also, you might over-rotate because it tends to give you a faster rotation than whipping your head back. So here's what a very drastic, only looking forward looks like. And to correct using your arms, just keep on drilling, following through with your arms. Simple as that. That was very exaggerated, but you get the point. Now, common things to correct for your actual gainer, not a backflip, is how much you throw your hips, as I said before in the technique part of the tutorial. If you throw a gainer and you feel like you're not getting enough height and you're not rotating enough, and you have to go like that for your landing, then that probably means you're traveling too much, which means you need to focus on going up instead of out. Now on the flip side, get it? If you're over rotating and you barely get your feet on the ground because your feet are over here, then that means you either need to focus on going a bit out more, or just focus less on going up, or just untuck sooner. But out of those two things, people probably travel too much more often, because we really don't want to under travel, because under traveling means that it's very highly possible that you do the backflip off of here and then a butt or a head lands here, which is not good. Remember, I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just trying to make sure that you know all of the consequences if you don't learn properly and learn safely. And with that, I'm going to end part 3 of the tutorial here, and let's do a quick overview of the move. So up to this point, you should be thinking of it exactly like a backflip, but once you actually take off, you want to throw your hips and your chest forward so that you travel forward. Also, make sure that you're not whipping your head back and that you are using your arms completely. And at this point, depending on how high you are, this is when you should untuck. So yeah, that is it for my tutorial on the gainer. If it helped, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and you should also ring that notification bell button, because in the next vlog on Wednesday, I'm gonna be going to Sky Zone with a parkour friend, and I'm gonna show you guys the Assassin's Creed hidden sword in that vlog. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty awesome. Subscribe though, do all that good jazz. See you in the next one. PK person out.
Oh, give me, I wanna be like you.